Okay, um, good afternoon. I'm Janpha Thadphoothon, and here I'm going to explain what cohesion is and some examples. Are you ready? Cohesion is the manner or the condition of something with elements sticking uh, together or going together. Not actually flying. It's actually sticking or gluing together. Okay, sorry, gluing together, and the texts are cohesive when the forms we talk about the language form, what appears to our eyes stick together. So it's the quality of the text where elements stick together. In short, if you cannot follow me, you can actually open the textbooks. Now, when we talk about cohesion, we talk about the use of two devices, lexical devices and grammatical devices. Cohesion can be seen in both written and spoken text. In lexical devices, we can use repetition, synonym, antonym, metonym, collocation, and the lexical field or lexical groups to help making elements glue together. In grammatical devices, we can use reference, conjunct, ellipsis, substitution, and parallelism. So let's look at grammatical devices. Reference, we can use connective, ellipsis, substitution, and parallelism. Reference, we can use the backwards or anaphoric reference. Like Tim is smart, he has 3 cats. So the word he refer backwards to the word Tim, okay? And referring forward, we call this cataphoric reference. He is our champion. He is, unbeatable. Let's welcome outside galaxy. So actually, the word he at the very beginning refer forward to the word outside galaxy. Referring to the whole ideas is when you use the, a reference to refer to the whole idea. The verb is in a terrible state at the moment. Isn't it obvious? The word it here refer backward to the whole idea. That's number 3. Number 4 is the use of reference to add information or to emphasize. You're smart and funny and kind. That's what I like about you. That's why. That's what. Many people think nothing bad will ever happen to them. That's why they are so shocked when something finally does. You see the words that. That's referring to backward, and we use it to emphasize the main idea. And we can refer to something outwards. We call this outward or exophoric reference. Don't get me wrong. Me refer to the speaker. Take it from us. This is a great car. In both cases, we can see that the word me or us are not mentioned previously. It just mentioned uh, from the text, referring to something out of the text. We call this referring outwards. And the last one is referring using articles, usually referring outward and referring backward. Okay? And the sudden outbreak of the flu in the country means that we need to take great care of ourselves. The sudden outbreak of the flu in the country means that we need to take great care of ourselves. Now, okay, we can see that the use of the country, okay, referring outward using the article. Uh, so this is more example. Now we talk about conjuncts. Conjuncts are words to connect ideas or sentences. We have four types of relationships or conjuncts: additive, adversative, causal, and temporal. Additive, for example, and, as well, moreover. Adversative, adversative like but, though, even though, causal, that's why, therefore, and temporal, then, next. Okay, this is an example. You see, this is an exercise for you. Rewrite each of the following sentences at least twice, using different conjuncts or rearranging them. For example, I often go to Chinese restaurants because I like Chinese food. Because I like Chinese food, I often go to Chinese restaurants. I like Chinese food, so I often go to Chinese restaurants. This is an example. You can try this, and I would like you to look, get open your book, and then you will see this. Okay, my friend doesn't go out much because she's shy. The seas are rising because of the Arctic ice is melting. Okay, this is one example. An example. Now, substitution. This is another device falling under the so-called grammatical device. I took many photos on my holiday, and now I have to separate the good photos from the bad photos to make a good photo album. You can see a lot of repetition, so you can actually use substitutions. Okay, we can substitute verbs and verb phrases like I think so. Are you going to the market today? I think so. So the word so is a substitute, and we can use it to substitute the whole uh, phrase. Okay. Did Jeep finish her assignment? I think not. I think not mean I think she did not finish her assignment. Can you help me with the washing? I will do in a minute, but I just want to finish the sandwich. So I will do in a minute. I will help. Okay, I will help you with the washing in a minute. So the word do substitutes the whole phrase. Yeah. We can also use noun substitution. Do you want the big one or the small one? A big one. So one replacing the noun. Is your computer still broken? Yeah, I will probably buy a new one. So the word one here represents computer. Now let's look at another device. This one is ellipsis. Ellipsis is when you leave out uh, a word, a phrase, or a, a chunk of sentence, or even the whole sentence. So in other words, when we leave something unsaid, we leave it because it's understood within the context anyway. And here are some examples. You can check it out from the book. Do you like pizzas? Absolutely. Absolutely mean absolutely I like pizza. Where are you going? The library. Now you don't have to say I am going to the library. You just say the library because you can ellipsize or you can leave out because it understood from the context. How are you? It could be worse. This is a good example. This is more example. This is a bit complicated example. You can actually look into this. Ellipses need antecedents usually. Voice men talk because they have something to say. fools because they have to say something. Wow, this is from Plato. I love this. Prosperity is a great teacher. Adversity is created by the guy by the name of William Hayes. Okay, William Hazlitt. Okay, prosperity is a great teacher. Adversity a creator. I love this too. This is from Virginia Woolf when she said that some people go to priests, others to poetry, I to my friend. So you see a lot of ellipses. True story deal with hunger, imaginary ones with love. Okay, I disagree with this. So you can see that we have one more device that is the use of parallel structure or parallelism. Parallel structure uh, is the repetition of a chosen grammatical form within a sentence. Remember, this is about a grammatical form. Uh, we use parallel structure because we want to emphasize something. We want to deal with the meaning. We want to emphasize the meaning. Okay, to create what we call a parallel construction, we can use something like he is lazy, fat, and ugly. You see the use adjective one, lazy, fat, and ugly. This is our country. This is our home. Okay, this is our country. This is our home. So this is our two structures that are parallel. We shall fight on the beaches. This is a famous speech by Winston Churchill. We shall fight, we shall fight, we shall fight, we shall fight, and we shall never surrender. Ah. So I want you to go to the YouTube video and then at the end of the speech, study the use of parallel structures. Uh, Usually you can notice the use of parallel structure in uh, many political speeches, like for example from Donald Trump. You can notice that. So just wrap up, I've talked about the cohesion as being a quality of the text that glue elements of the text together, and we use two devices, lexical devices and grammatical devices. I've been talking about the use of grammatical devices, the use of reference, conjuncts, ellipses, substitution, and parallelism. Thank you for watching.